Hello there and welcome back to my YouTube channel and to today's video all about how to secure an internship at EY. Now, I'm delighted to be joined by Emma Stubbs, who is a second year at the University of Manchester, who's going to walk and talk us through how she has secured a placement / internship at EY. So welcome on board, Emma. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Well, first of all, congratulations on securing the internship, first of all, because there'll be people watching this going, James, I've got an actual interview tomorrow. I've got to go through the whole process. I'm watching the video. How can you calm my nerves? What top tips have you got for us? So kick us off, Emma. Where did you sort of start your whole process? How would you help someone out if they've got to go for that interview tomorrow?
So if you're going for the interview, I think the key thing to remember is you're talking to another person. Even though they might be a director or a partner, they're still a person. So if you just remove the title and talk to them like it's a normal conversation, really does remove the stress. And after all, the chances are they've been in your position. When I went into mine, I was so stressed and scared, and it was just such a casual talk. It felt so strange, but just feel comfortable with it. Don't get too nervous. They're not evil. They're trying to help you. They want to get the right person there. So they're not going to try and scare you away. So it's all just about kind of relaxing a bit. Obviously you need to do your research, but honestly, just be yourself and you should be okay.
Fantastic. And in terms of the whole starting of the process, say someone's watching this, they're thinking, oh, I'd love to go work for EY. What was the starting process, the sort of CV? Did you have to send in a video? How did it go for you?
So the first thing you do is you kind of just fill out the standard form with everything. They weren't really interested in what I've done previously, so that's quite nice. All they really asked for was what I'm kind of predicting to get at university and a little bit about me. And they did ask for an A-level maths grade. I hadn't had any other ones ask for that, but I can't imagine it's that big of a deal. But then we went on to the next stage, which was like a numerical reasoning test, they're pretty standard. If you've done any other applications, they're all kind of the same. They're not trying to trick you. The one thing is they give that same test to everybody, whether you're a school leaver or a graduate. So it's not really it's not complex maths. You really don't need to have an A-level in maths to do it. It's just simple to try and see how you think. It's not tricking you, because some of the other ones seem like they're trick questions. They were really straightforward. And then after you submit that, normally pretty quickly you get another link to do a digital interview. So it's not with a person. They just kind of sometimes they have like little video scenarios of people pretending to do something, and then how would you respond, or what would you say to this? And it is relatively straightforward. It's just obviously a little bit intimidating. You need your full like suit on and everything. But it's just about being confident with that. And they normally let you record twice. So if you mess up the first time, don't worry about it. You can do it again. And I messed up on mine a few times and I thought, oh, that's it, not getting that one then. There was one where I completely froze on my second attempt, and I just didn't really answer the question, and I still got through. So don't worry if you mess it up. They know you're human as well.
Nice. So just the more I always tell my students, the more practice you put into it, and I know it's difficult to maybe talk to that mirror, or like you were saying with those tests, that you can do a few online as just getting the ball rolling. Because if you go into it completely blind, then I'd rather fail one that I've done pre-hand than doing the actual one where I really want to get that internship. And then from going through that process, then what were the next sort of steps that really helped you get through?
The next thing they did was I had to wait a few weeks, and I remember thinking I've not got it because it took 3 or 4 weeks to get back. And then they invited me to an assessment centre, and this is the first and only assessment centre I have ever done. So I was quite scared for it, but obviously it's all right. The one thing in the assessment centre is you're not just with people going for the same place on the same scheme. You'll be with school leavers and graduates and everyone. So you just need to remove that competition aspect, because it isn't a competition. If you are in a group scenario, which they tend to use, every single one person in your group can get a place at EY. And once you get over that and you understand that, you'll work better as a group, because you can help each other rather than just being the one person speaking and butting in. If you actually take your time to ask other people's opinions and kind of justify why you think what you think in a nice, respectful way. I think that's really what helped me, because initially in our group we did have some butting heads, and then I remember saying, you look a lot older than me, and they went, yeah, I'm going for a graduate scheme. I was like, oh well, I'm not. And then we all worked it out that we aren't going for the same thing, and I think that's what really merged us together as a group, and I think we all worked really well.
Right. Well, having worked as an assessor myself before, other things to take into account are the moment you step into that building or wherever it's being held, you are being assessed. I know some people that have fallen short because they were rude to the receptionist as they came in, or they were playing on their phone as they walked by one of the assessors. So that's one of the first things that you shouldn't do on there. The next thing is always having a watch on you, because did you have a timed assessment on there? Maybe 10 minutes or 15?
Oh, we had 2 instructors in there. We were on Zoom, so on
Right.
Teams even. We had 2 instructors in there kind of saying, this is the end of this section. We're going to start this section now. So it wasn't too bad time, but I do think that sounds quite smart, and I didn't think about that.
That's all good. And then, so have you got any top tips from that? Well, it was on Zoom, so it was an online assessment center. What things would you have gone back and maybe done differently, or what helped you through that process?
I think I should have maybe relaxed a little bit more. There was another section that was like a writing section, and it was kind of just like a comprehension task, which again wasn't too, it's not trying to trick you, but I really got nervous at that, and you had to type a response, which was okay, but I got so scared, and then I started getting so many spelling mistakes, and I was thinking, they're not going to pick me because I can't spell correctly. And I should have just stopped for a second and gone, I'm all right. I have the time, I can breathe, and just slow down a little bit. It's not a rush. If you don't finish it, it's probably not the end of the world. As long as what you've got is quality, I don't think they mind. I think that's a big thing. And another thing was the technology. There was a few issues, which is understandable because it's normal, but there was a lot of stress with people not being able to submit their work. And we were in a Teams call and people were messaging going, I can't submit mine, oh no. And everyone started to stop panicking, thinking, what if I can't submit it in time? And there was other people that had to come from other sessions to kind of deal with the technology issues. But if you just slow down, calm down, and accept that they're human and we're human, you'll be all right. They're not mean. If the people did miss the submission window, they just reopened it again for them.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's all about the transferable skills that you go to these assessment centers and you think to yourself, right, Emma's in front of me, you can tell her qualities, and as an assessor, or if you go work for in one of the recruiting teams, you think, right, which piece of the puzzle would she fit in? What area could I envisage her working in a particular team? And it's those transferable skills that you need to demonstrate across. But I completely agree with you. Just remain cool, calm and collective, and you'll be fine on it. That was it on there. So from that assessment center, did you have anything else afterwards? Was there another follow-up from it?
I didn't. We just went straight on to the interview, and they actually did feedback they give you like a feedback form to kind of explain what they thought of you, which was really helpful because I know not all companies do that. So I could reflect on what they saw my strengths were and what they thought my weaknesses were. And once I got that form, I was like, I think I've actually done quite well because it looked very positive. And then a few weeks later, I found out I had the interview. But getting that feedback, I think, made a big difference to my outlook of the interview as well, because they're not trying to criticize you. It's just areas for improvement. So I then looked at that and thought, how can I demonstrate in my interview that I also have those skills?
Oh, brilliant. So you reflected on it as well. That's really pleasing to see. And just to give you a bit of a concept on it, one of my colleagues works at KPMG, and he's been an assessor on these sort of processes. And he says, James, it's like a filtering system where once you get down to the interview stage at the end, like you were, we know you're good. We've already spent the time, the resources, putting it into you. So it's down to you now to showcase what your qualities are. And I mean, how did the interview go at the end?
It was really, really good. I didn't expect it to be that good. So all they did was, it was quite simple. They made us prepare a presentation. They gave us some topics to choose from. So I did my presentation, which was about 5 minutes. And I generally spoke to the person who was interviewing me. But what was really interesting is he told me all they were given was my name. They weren't given anything else. So he knew nothing about how I'd done previously.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a complete fresh start. And that was really kind of nice. So all he had was my name. He didn't know what university I went to or anything. So it meant that I could really establish myself to him as a strong candidate. He didn't tell me that till halfway through the interview, but it was quite nice to know that they don't know.
Yeah.
they don't have the feedback forms, so they don't know what my weaknesses were in the other things. They don't really know that. They just kind of have to have a feel whether they think you fit there, and they're looking for your personality more, I think. And that's what really got me, was he wasn't looking, there's no standard like this is what an accountant looks like. Then they love maths and all this. They want different people. They want extroverts and introverts, and that's really what helped me, because I'm quite introverted naturally. And he was talking to me and I was saying I'm a little bit quiet, and he was really, really nurturing as well. It wasn't just like, I thought if I haven't got this interview, he's taught me a lot, and he was really good at helping me improve in certain areas just through talking. He was like, you need to be more confident about what you're saying, because what you're saying is right. So it was just, it's not what I thought an interview would be like. It was just like a casual conversation where he was just trying to like build me up a bit more, which was, it's just crazy, because I thought an interview was meant to be quite intimidating, and you can walk away going, oh no, I've ruined it. But he was really, really nice, to the point where I then didn't have a clue whether I got it or not, because I thought, I don't know whether I'd done well, because he just seemed like such a nice person that would help anybody. But then obviously I got the offer a few weeks later.
Fantastic. Lots of people think the interview process is like The Apprentice, where you just get grilled and
The one thing they did mention is they sent out the form. They said, we don't want you to spend more than like 4 hours on this, because it shouldn't take that long, which was quite nice, because when I had all my uni work as well to do, I didn't actually spend as long on it as I would have maybe liked to. But it's just making sure you have that industry knowledge, you'll be fine. It's important. It's important anyway, because you don't have to just research the specific company you're going to. It's good to be in the know if you have any other interviews going on. So I think it really helped me. And I read the Financial Times a little bit, but I got more into reading it. And I realised now, on reflection of reading that, how it actually helps me at uni as well. And generally, it's a good habit to get into. So they just want to make sure that you actually care and you know what you're going into. I remember I'm going into assurance, and I asked so many people, what is assurance? And no one can give me an answer, because it's different. It's always different. And I think that what really helped me was they run events. So they do a lot of events reaching out to students, which is fantastic. So I think they did Women in Assurance, and it was literally 4 days before my interview. And I went to it, and it's just like a chat forum where you put in questions, and they have like 6 or 7 people from EY responding. And it was so helpful, because I could ask all tips and tricks from people previously, and they offered to like use LinkedIn to message. And I think LinkedIn was another thing that completely changed the game for me, because the ability to reach out to people that were already there and go, what are your top tips? And the main ones are things like, I got think outside the box, which obviously is a kind of typical one, but they want you to be yourself and be creative, and they want people like that. And I think reaching out to people that have done it kind of makes it seem more achievable, because there's not always people that go to the top universities. You don't have to do that route. You can go straight from A levels. You can do lots of other options. And I think seeing that on reflection is they don't care too much about your past. They care about who you are more than
the person in front of them.
Qualifications. So it's nice to see that it's achievable, kind of from pretty much no matter where you come from.
Oh, that's just so fantastic to hear. And I can imagine people watching from the other side of the screen, watching this recording going, I've got a chance. I may have that interview tomorrow.
I didn't think I had a chance at all. It was the only one I got through to the assessment centre for. And I thought, I applied to lots of companies. I was like, this is quite a big company to be my only one getting through to an assessment centre. I was like, a lot was riding on it, and I was so worried. But that's it. I think it just feels like a very nurturing kind of process. It wasn't really harsh at all.
Right. Well, I always got taught it's the case. You always got to keep knocking on that door, because eventually it will open. And as for you, it was you got the call, and then did they email you or give you a call to say you got the internship?
I was waiting on an email for a very long time, but they actually called me. So they
Oh.
called me out, and I was at uni and I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting to get an email saying, "We're really sorry." And it was my last chance kind of to get an internship because of how like they do it on a rotation. If I was in the rotation for another company, but I was waiting on an assessment center and they were saying, "We're not going to be able to get you on till after New Year's." So I was like, well, that one, the chances are quite slim.
Get lower.
So I knew it was like my last shot, and they called me when I was at university and I started to cry. Quite embarrassing, but it was something really big that I've been working towards, and there was a lot of pressure behind it. And another thing that's quite good is having the experience of applying to internships for the summer. I knew the process quite well. So getting to that stage was a big enough achievement for me. I knew even if I didn't get it, that would really help me for graduation, because I will have got that far before I can do it again.
Yeah, get what you mean. Yeah, it's versus going into it a bit cold and not knowing the whole process and what tests to expect on that. And then fantastic news, you get the call, and then the internship secured as well. Have many of your friends got some as well?
No, it's really difficult. You have to apply to a lot of places, and I think that's what a lot of people haven't realized. And what I had on a lot of my friends was I applied in the summer, and I attended some like similar events. So Bright Network is a really good one. They partnered with EY. And I attended that in the summer. It was like an internship experience, and because I'd done that, they kind of make it more accessible, and they explain a bit more about the importance of the like application process. So I was one step ahead of everyone already. And I know that's quite a big thing to do, like in your first year, to be already thinking far ahead, but I think it really will make my life easier to do it when there's less people trying to fight for those few positions now than later on, when everyone's going to graduate or wanting a job at the Big Four in the accounting sector. So I think getting on it early is definitely the key. Even if you're not intending on going to the internship, just have a go at the application process, I think, is really important.
Yeah, you'll learn so much from it, and it will just build you up for then when you go for that role that you really, really want to get. You've already got all that wealth of experience in your arsenal, haven't you? But if there was one final piece of advice or top tip that you couldn't sleep tonight without telling our viewers, from start to finish, what would be your biggest words of advice about securing a role as an intern at EY? What springs to your mind?
It doesn't really matter what degree you're doing or whether you're even good at your degree necessarily. They don't quiz you on that, because the whole point is they will help you. So if you're feeling a little bit unsure about whether like you're good enough at like accounting or something, you'll probably be okay. The whole point is they take people that don't do accounting. So you can really just go into it from anywhere, and they're really good at the basics. So I think I wish I was more confident in that, because I do accounting part of my degree, but it is obviously challenging, and I was a little bit worried that I was going to go in there. They were going to ask me a question about debits and credits, and I was just going to lose it. But they don't ask anything specific about the actual role. They just want to know that you have a decent maths ability and that you're a nice person, and they think you could work well with them, and they're looking for anyone. So it doesn't matter if you're quiet or you think you might be a bit too loud. They don't mind. They want a big creative team with different ideas from different backgrounds. And I think that's the one key thing.
Mega awesome stuff. I mean, there'll be people watching this, Emma, trust me, they'll be there going and breathe. Tomorrow I've got this. But honestly, Emma, thank you so much for today. I know you're going to help out tons of people, and if you've got any questions or comments, or let us know if you're going for an internship, EY or whatever it is. Leave us a comment at the bottom. I read and answer them all. It'd be super to see it, wouldn't it, Emma, on there? And I hope the tips have helped today, guys, as well. So make sure you give the video a like and subscribe. We'll be doing lots more videos on there. Just finally, thank you so much again, Emma. I hope you enjoyed today. Your debut on the channel. How about that?
It was really nice, thanks.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Well, guys, as I said, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos, and we'll see you next time for another. But best of luck with your EY internship, or whichever internship interview you're going for, And I think they've got this. Don't you think, Emma? I think it's in the bag. And it could be the little tips we've talked about today could be the difference in you securing that role. That's the key thing. But as always on that bombshell, we'll see you next time. Cheers.